As an ownership proposition, it's difficult to find a small car that's as fun, high quality and residually strong as the Mini hatch, but the Mini has always been more than that. It really helped make small cars, okay, small by modern car standards, cool again. When BMW reimagined this very British of icons in 2001, it seemed to capture an international zeitgeist. Everybody fell in love with the thing, from mums to nuns to hipsters, even sodding estate agents. In fact, so much so that it became an overnight sales success, not just in the UK, but worldwide. 13 years later, we're on to the third generation Mini hatch, which is all new, despite it looking like a slightly larger 3D printed version of the model it replaces. Mini aficionados may have spotted this bonnet scoop, which is the signature mark of the hotter Cooper S version, which now features a turbocharged 2-litre petrol engine. So, in order to test whether this car still has this cachet of cool that everybody loves and adores with the Mini, we're going on a road trip from the multicultural melting pot that is Barcelona, 500 kilometres to the French port of Marseille, to really find out what this new engine's all about. After which, we're then going to go on to Turin, which is the home of another city car icon, which may ruffle a few feathers. Antoni Gaudi was an architect and pioneer of the modernist movement, and Barcelona was very much considered to be his kind of playground. The Sagrada Famlia, which is just over here, we're going to get to it now, is probably the most famous of his works, and it remains Spain's most visited tourist attraction. Gaudi started working on this in 1882, and he didn't stop until his death in 1926. I don't think even he could have imagined how much of an impact this building would have had. I mean, look, just going around the corner now, there's already huge queues, and it's what, 9:30? What an amazing building. Another retro modern competitor is the Fiat 500, and although the prices are slightly different, they are very much considered competitors. This is such a more complete, mature package compared to the Fiat 500. The beauty of the Mini is that it is both striking and instantly recognisable, just like almost anything Gaudi turned his hands to. And in true Catalan style, I've gone for a pretty vibrant colour palette of yellow and black, which is working remarkably well in this setting. But as beautiful as these views are from the viewing deck from Park Güell, I think it is actually time that we left the city and finally get a chance to open things up. There we go. 2 bags of hand luggage and we're kind of full. But you were never going to buy it for the boot space, were you?
We'll have one last play. One last play.
As soon as you start driving the Mini hatch, you'll know that it feels fun, fast and really darty, and these are typical traits of the Mini brand. But there's also a kind of new maturity to this cabin, and I don't just mean the plastics are soft touch and you can spec a few different colours. There are now functions in here that have been designed to just make your life a lot easier. For example, the speedo is now front and centre above you on the steering wheel, rather than it be on this giant pizza-sized dial. Now that's just been solely reserved for your multimedia interfaces now. You've also got the electric window buttons that have been relocated from this bottom row of toggles here to the doors. Again, it's just so much easier. In addition to that, you've got the option of this brilliant heads-up display. There's adaptive dampers, adaptive cruise control. These are really big ticket items that you'd normally associate with saloon cars and above, and the fact that they're on a car as small as this is a big deal. As for this Cooper S engine, it's gone up in capacity. It's now a twin turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-litre unit that develops 189 brake horsepower and 206 pounds-foot of torque. And the emissions are cleaner too, so everybody's a winner. But it is very fizzy, very smooth in the power delivery, and the fact that it's turbocharged isn't really noticeable when you're just cranking through the gears. The other really nice thing is that everything's been engineered to have a very similar mechanical weighting, so the throttle, the brake, the gearbox all feels very well matched, and it makes it very fun to drive. You also have quite a bit of fun with these driver modes, and you've got everything from a green mode, which turns the cabin green and helps you eke out a few more miles when you're just doing the motorway run, right through to sport, which firms everything up, turns everything red, and if you're lucky, gives you a few pops and bangs on the overrun. It sounds a bit gimmicky, it is a bit gimmicky, but it's fun, and that is what this car is all about. Here we are in Marseille. Just like the Mini, France's second city is a great story of regeneration. Not so long ago, this place had a really bad reputation for drug-related gang crime and violence, and it obviously didn't do the world of tourism much good. However, following on from £6 billion worth of investment, and the fact that this place was named European Capital of Culture in 2013, this place is unrecognisable. It's absolutely beautiful. Behind me is Norman Foster's Ambrier, which is one of many architects that have been involved in this city's pretty amazing turnaround. It works in this newly paved harbour for a number of reasons. The first, it gives you some really decent shelter regardless of what the weather's doing, if it's gloriously sunny today or if it's chucking it down on another. But the second is that it offers some really nice theatre to the place. The actual ceiling of the Ambrier is made from polished steel, and it inverts all the life that this harbour is bringing now, that the whole regeneration has brought to the city. It's quite incredible. So we've seen that the Mini can work on the boulevards in France, we've seen it work in the streets of Spain, but now we need to find out whether it's got enough glamour to satisfy the Italians.
Oh, what a day, what a day. I know I need to get away. Oh, what a day.
We are now entering Turin. The Italians are synonymous with style, but the reason why we're visiting what's considered the capital of the Alps is because it's home to Fiat. And Fiat proudly makes another iconic city car, the Cinquecento or 500. So if the new Mini hatch can get the thumbs up here, then it must be onto a winner. This is Fiat's famous Lingotto factory that was inaugurated in 1922 and is more than half a kilometre long. It's now been turned into a hotel and shopping complex, but there are still a few treats in there that allude to this place's great past. The factory was considered unique at the time because production was spread over 5 floors. Raw materials went in on the ground and finished cars emerged on this top deck, which would have been a rooftop test track. It must have been absolutely mind-blowing, not just for the drivers, but for the residents of Turin looking in to see dozens of Cinquecentos at a time razzing through these parabolic bends and then going straight on those 400-metre runs. Le Corbusier described this place as one of the most impressive sights in industry, and do you know what? I don't blame him.
My heart is near, my love has gone away.
The new Mini hatch may have its origins in Britain, but I think this trip has proven that it works on an international level in a truly multifaceted way. It retains the agility and the characteristics of the previous Minis, which is a great thing, but I think it now adds more driver comfort, more practicality, more maturity. So if you need a small car that can back up the style with substance, then this is it.